Good morning, friend. Welcome to another episode of the Erin Chase Show. I'm so excited to chat about this today. Real excited. I recorded a podcast about this yesterday. It's not out yet, but it will be later today. And this is something that is super important and what we need to be doing right now. Right now. And that is getting real intentional with tracking our spending. Okay. So, good morning, my friends. Let me know where you are today and let me know how you track your food spending. Today, we're going to be talking about food, both groceries and eating out, dining out, fast food, convenience stores, quick runs to the grocery store. I want to know how you track that, how often you track it. So drop a note in the comments and I'll do my best to keep up with them today. And I'm going to share with you, before we get going, two things. I'm going to type this in, a workshop next Wednesday about this. We're going to dig a little bit deeper into this. Here, I think I did it. Maybe you'll see it, maybe you won't. Okay, if not, I'll share it. And there it is. I see it. Okay. Oh, it's 2 comments. So sorry. Okay. Tracking your spending. How do you track your spending? Do you track it once a month? Do you just kind of randomly look at your credit card or debit card statement? Are you like withdrawing cash at the ATM to pay for your food each week? I want to know if you have older kids and you're like paying for that's where we are. We have kids that will grab things kind of here and there between games, practices, and whatnot. Like, how do you track and account for that? And here's why this is important. It just was released this morning. The timing of this could not be any better. The reason that I'm really drilling in on this right now, and I've been talking about this really since last July, but really it's not getting any better. The transitory inflation is now here. Okay, if you've not been following that, if you've never heard of the Consumer Price Index, it's a report that gets released once a month. And the most important numbers as of late are the inflationary numbers, which are year-over-year numbers on the increase in prices right now with this inflation. So the one this morning, I was just looking at it, and we already know this. We already know the gas is really high. We already know that gas impacts like supply chain, food prices, all that. We already know that. Like, we know that it's going up 8.5% from last year's March to this year's March. And it's been creeping higher month over month. I think it was 7.9 in February, 7 point something in I'm blanking. Anyways, obviously a lot of that is driven by gas, but it's not all driven by gas. Cumulatively total 8.5% increase from last year's March to this year's March. Meat, poultry, I'm looking at the chart here. It's on the New York Times. Meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, 13.7% increase. Although there is a place I have found where that has not been the case, and that would be Costco. I actually saw an advertisement from Costco, like an ad, saying our rotisserie chickens are still $4.99. So stop what you're doing right now and go get a $4.99 rotisserie chicken. We actually had that for dinner on Sunday night. So anyways, all that to say, it's not getting better, and we've got to stand up and fight against these inflationary prices, especially because we've been impacted by food, gas. I mean, some of this, there's just not a lot we can do with gas. It's like you're kind of at the mercy. You can use an app to try and save a little bit with a cashback, or find the cheapest gas near you. I know even sometimes like across the street, there's still like a 5-cent difference. And I'm like, how is that even like a thing? It's 5, especially right now when it's so high. Anyways, it is. Okay, here's what you need to do. I have more in the workshop next week. The event is there. You can RSVP on the event. But this is spending trackers. You've got to get serious about your tracking. So I asked a minute ago, I'm gonna ask again, tell me how you track. I don't see any comments yet, which means you're not tracking. To me, that tells me you're not tracking, and that's okay, but we need to get tracking, and I wanna help you do just that. If you type the word track, T-R-A-C-K, it's almost like my own little Wordle today. Do you see 5-letter words and you're like, ooh, that'd be a good Wordle word? Okay. Anyways, so the word track, T-R-A-C-K, into the comments, and you will get information on how you can download these. I'm going to break down each of these, and I'm going to tell you why we don't do a great job of food tracking. Okay. Lisa, you have an app on your phone. I'm assuming that's like a banking app or some sort of a budgeting app, right? Ginny uses the Every Dollar app. That's fantastic. You can see your food spending for the entire month at any moment. I don't use that app personally, but I imagine you can just open the app. That's actually one of my tips for you today. I have 3 tips for you. The first is to track on paper, which I'm going to break these down for you in just a second. Brianna and Terry, I'm going to send y'all a message. If you type the word track in the comments, I'll message you the PDF. Okay, so Ginny and Lisa are using Every Dollar. That's fantastic. That's definitely a way to do it. And the reason I think that using your phone is super crucial is because we always have our phones, right? Like maybe we don't want to open Every Dollar and check on it, but maybe we should, right? So I think having some digital touch point. I personally am a pencil and paper girl. Like I even write down, like outside of our budgeting software, write it down. Like that's just how my brain processes it. I know everybody's a little bit different, which is why I wanted to share these options with you. So tracking is super important. I'll break that down in just a second why. But here's 3 things I want you to be thinking about, ways that you can incorporate this tracking into your life. Is a PDF download like this, and I'll message you how to get this. I have available a weekly version and a monthly version, okay? So writing down every food dollar that you spend. Grocery, restaurant, fast food, convenience store, takeout, like write it down, okay? And what that does is it helps us keep a track on our food spending. And why is that important? How often do we eat? Every day. Right? We eat every day, so we have to feed ourselves every day and our families, right? And when we're busy and we're moving quickly and we're like, oh, I'll just buzz through the drive-thru. You don't remember that you buzzed through the drive-thru on Friday afternoon when it's Tuesday morning and you're late for work and you need breakfast. You don't remember that you did that Friday and then you're doing it Tuesday, and a couple days from now, again, you're not going to remember it again, and you're not going to remember it again because you're not keeping like a mental tally and a mental track. Like we just don't do that well because we need to eat every day. We need food right now, right? Obviously, there's lots of ways to save on food. That's not what the intention of this video is. We'll get more into that next week. But I think it's really important to track. And I have a weekly version, which is space for you to write where you bought and how much you spent. Yes, there's that many lines for the week. Some people, it might be a grocery run and 1 dinner out. Great. But for most people, it's a grocery run, a fast food, a quick grab of 3 things at the store because you forgot them or ran out. Another quick, I need to grab a salad, so I'm just getting a salad for myself. And then it's a couple of kids need a snack after school, so we're going to get donuts. And it adds up fast. Does it not? Okay. So there's a weekly option. Of course, there's a monthly view. We personally track our food spending at the monthly level. So this one's really great. You can just write down like, okay, Sunday, I can just write grocery every Sunday. Like I always go to the grocery store on Sunday. So grocery is on Sunday, and then I might need to sneak in to get more strawberries. We eat a lot of strawberries at our house. Thursdays I'll often pop in and just grab like maybe strawberries and a salad or something like that, just 2 or 3 things. If I'm doing a big like Costco run, I'll make sure that that's in there because Costco generally, bumps. It's usually a higher spend than what a weekly trip to the grocery store would be when I'm buying in bulk. But I'm also buying enough to get several weeks worth of food that we can keep, in the freezer and whatnot. Okay, so these PDFs. So type the word track. Brianna, Terry, Jenny, if you want these, Jenny, you can type the track. You can use an app, but I also think there's an extra level of accountability when writing it down, like physically writing it down. It's a similar probably psychological mechanism as like when you hand cash at the grocery store versus using your credit card or debit card. It's just a different level of accountability. So there is that. If you just type track, Kelly's got it. Track in the comments. I'll message you those two downloads and information about next Wednesday's workshop. There's also an event here in the comments. You might have to scroll up a little bit. You can see that. You can tap on that event and just let me know that you're coming, and then you'll get notified when we go live, which is next Wednesday, the 20th at 8 p.m. Okay, let me backtrack. I went through the PDF and we talked through about the Lisa and Ginny are using the Every Dollar app, which I think it's connected to your bank accounts and your cards, and it pulls in it categorizes kind of automatically, and it pulls in, like, you can see this is of your budget pie, this is your percentage of food, and this is your total on food and whatnot, which is fantastic. Highly recommend any kind of budgeting app or spreadsheet, however you do that, to keep track of the food. But the reason I'm sharing this right now is because when you're actively tracking anything in your life, calories, exercise, spending, saving, investing, like all of these things that we should be tracking, when you are actively tracking them, okay, when you're actively working on it, what's going to happen? You're going to see results. And when do we need to see results in our food spending? Right now. And why? Hello, inflation, right? If you missed it earlier, I just was looking up the Consumer Price Index report was released early this morning. 8.5% from last year's March to this year's March, largely driven by gas. Obviously, we all see that. We know that at the pump. But we've got to be actively working. I'm actually is there how can I batch my errands this week so I'm driving less? I literally think that at least once or twice a week. Okay. So it's something that we need. These are just things that we need to be thinking about. But for today, it's all about your food tracking. All right. I'm going to show you this. I personally track on paper, but I'm going to show you what I did just for the sake of this. Okay. If you don't have a fancy software, so Lisa and Ginny shared that they use Every Dollar. There's Quicken, QuickBooks. You need a budget. There's a whole bunch of these different ones, which you have to set it all up, right? But if you don't want to set it up and you need something that you can, this is actually my numbers from this month, and I have 2 more grocery trips this month, so I got to figure out how to get it all under that number, right? So just use the Notes app on your phone. Every time after you load your groceries in your car, before you drive, never use your phone when driving, type it in, move along, right? After you get home from the drive-through, add the information in there. Like Lisa says, she enters receipts manually. It's almost the same way, but you're just using an app that's already on your phone, no special software that you have to set up. So doing that. So pencil and paper, the PDF downloads I have available for you if you type the word track into the comments. And then second, and also if you're watching this on YouTube later or the replay, you can look in the description for a link. There you go. So second is some sort of a budgeting app, or if your bank or credit card sends notifications, you can get notifications to get reminded. Oh, here's the spam. To get reminded of of your spending, right? And so having the notifications can do just that. And then last is going to be some sort of an app on your phone, whether it's the Notes app like I just shared, or it's I can't delete those from inside here, or don't click on any of those links, y'all. It's or the budgeting app, right? So PDF, some sort of tracking software, some sort of an app on your phone. But the idea is to be really intentional with tracking day after day after day after day after day after day. Okay. All right. I think that's what I wanted to share with you today. This is going to be, food prices are going to be on the rise I still think it's going to be many months. I am not an alarmist. I really try hard to read experts' opinions from different sides. I'm not an economist, but this is certainly a conversation that I pay close attention to. I would call myself a grocery savings expert. And I think that one way that anybody, regardless of the store, regardless of your diet, regardless of where you live, everybody needs to get super intentional with your tracking. Okay. I think that's what I got for you today. Again, if you type the word track into the comments, and I will be blocking all these spam people shortly. If you type in track, TRACK, into the comments, I will message you where to get a hold of these 2 PDFs, as well as information about the workshop that I have happening next week, Wednesday evening. And then also a freezer cooking workshop Thursday morning. Both of those are available under the events tab here on the Facebook page as well. If you're watching this on YouTube later, you can look in the description for information about those events. We're going to dig deeper into kind of the grocery savings, I guess, process. I want to help you through this right now, and I want to help you see that there are small things that you can do, because I truly believe that there's small things that we can do to make a lasting change. And one of those things that we can do today is what I've outlined here today, is about just getting super intentional with tracking your spending and being really purposeful with this, because this is the best way to fight against this. So Carmen, I got you. Check your messages. Y'all don't click on any of that spam, and I'll get those new friends blocked. Not friends, those new spammy people blocked here shortly. And yeah, that's what I got for you for this week's episode. On Thursday, I will be sharing with you a slow cooker recipe. So I'll be live with the Gender Made Easy show on Thursday morning. I hope to see you there probably around 10 a.m. Central Time. I'll be maybe 9:30. I'll be starting the slow cooker then with, oh my word, it's the most delicious. It's so good. I can't even wait to share this with you. So I've got that for you on Thursday. And next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about stretching proteins. Stretching proteins, because protein is the most expensive part of pretty much any $5 dinner and recipe that we have on the website. So we're going to talk about how to stretch that out. So of course, then you can stretch your grocery budget as well. So that's what I got coming up for you. Thanks for being with me here today. Again, type track in the comments and I'll send you a message about where to find these PDF downloads, and let's get to tracking. I can't wait to hear how this makes a difference. If you can track between now and next Wednesday and come tell me on next Wednesday's workshop, I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised at, like, oh, I actually decided not to buy that, or decided not to bop into Target to grab snacks or whatever it might be. So there you go. That's what I got for you. That is it for this week's episode of the Erin Chase Show, my friend. It's bye for now, and we'll talk again soon.